the excitement of spring training, knowing that you have your team for 162 games. God, the majority of nights, there's nothing better than that. I remember being obsessed with the magnetic schedules, throwing them up on the fridge, and knowing that every night you got a game to look forward to. And between both the Mets and Yankees, obviously, we should be covered throughout the course, of the spring and on into the summer, all the way from April to September, and hopefully on through October with both these teams, which should be the expectations. And we start with the Yankees, who are running it back, even though they say they're not running it back. I don't know how Brian Cashman can look at us with a straight face and say we're not running it back. It's not the same exact team. When if you actually look at it, it is the same exact team. It's the exact same team. Ryan Weathers is the only difference. Everything else is the exact same thing. Now, is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, because the Yankees were good last year. I think there's this thought, if you knock the Yankees, or any team, but in this particular case, the Yankees, if you knock the Yankees, you don't think that they're good enough. Well, okay, there are, various degrees to that conversation. They were very good a year ago, winning 94 games, and they'll let you know about that. They believe in their team. That's why they're running it back, even though they say that they aren't. We're not running it back. Let's bring back Paul Goldschmidt. Like everybody else, they bring back the exact same guys. Cashman says they're not running it back. Anyway, they won 94 games a year ago. Okay, was it good enough to win the division? It wasn't. Was it good enough to win in the postseason? It wasn't. But they believe that the team that they acquired or assembled after the deadline is going to be a team that's going to be better than what they had the majority of last year. And hard to argue against that when you look at the landscape of the American League, because I do believe the Yankees can be one of the best teams in baseball and certainly in the American League. Maybe even better than Toronto. I mean, Toronto did add Dylan Cease, but they lose Bo Bichette. Are they definitively better? And who knows? After getting into the World Series last year, are they going to perform the way that they did up and down that lineup a year ago? Maybe. I mean, the way that they won would make me think that it's more sustainable and different than the Yankees. But I also thought that the Yankees were going to crush them a year ago, and it didn't happen. So do I think that the Yankees could crush them this year? Maybe. I mean, we'll see. My biggest issue is not even with the Yankees just running it back, because I think that sometimes it's okay to run it back. If you believe you have a good group and saying, you know what, well, last year we lost because of this or that, and this year we're getting healthier, and this year we have the full group together. Like Boone said that many times. He told BT and I at the live show. I'm pretty sure he said it everywhere else, either after the fact or before the fact, that he thought going in to that postseason, that was the best group that he's had to work with, including the team that got to the World Series the year before. So you're talking about from 2018 on, those Yankee teams, Boone believed in last year's team. They were healthy. They had the talent. They had versatile pieces, different matchups. He felt that was their best shot that they've had. And it just didn't work out for them. And their words saying ran into a buzzsaw with the Blue Jays. And they're going to bet that that's not going to happen again with Toronto. Give us another crack at the Blue Jays. We'll be better. Return of Garrett Cole, full season of the other guys we mentioned before. Okay, great. My issue is that why wouldn't you want to, say we have a good team and a good base and we can run it back, but also make the team better, definitively better going in? What would be the harm in trying to improve the ball club? I used this example many times before, and I'll do it again. If the Dodgers can win back-to-back World Series, which they did, back-to-back World Series champs, and in the offseason not sit there and say, we're good. We're good. I mean, we won 2 World Series. They're not saying we won 94 games and we got unlucky in the postseason. We ran into a buzzsaw. They're saying, you know what? We won 2 World Series, but we're going to go out there and get the best free agent outfielder and the best free agent closer. So if they could do that, why would the New York Yankees just say, 94 games, our odds are as good as anybody else. We're good with this. We're good with McMahon at third instead of going after Bo Bichette. The Mets had to make changes. We'll get to the Mets in a second. But the Mets had to make changes because they weren't good enough. But even if they were better than they were a year ago, they still would have made changes. That's what you're supposed to do. Try, especially when you're talking about the New York market or the top high-end markets. The idea is to get better. Yeah, okay, maybe we were a little unlucky last year from a Yankees perspective. Maybe we were a little unlucky, but we want to make sure that we're better than where we were a year ago. The goal should be to improve each year. That's where I don't understand what the Yankees are doing. And when you look at their lineup, it's the exact same thing. Judge in right, Grisham in center, Bellinger in left, Stanton at DH, Rice slash Goldschmidt at first, Jazz at second. Shortstop's going to be Volpe eventually, but it's Caballero to start. Third base is McMahon. Wells is catching. It's the same exact thing. The rotation banged up for the first month of the season, but ultimately the same thing. And the rotation, I think, is going to be very good. And you can say, well, Cole's coming back. Okay. Well, you're going to factor in Cole coming back, which is great. But then what happens if somebody else gets hurt? What? It's going to be perfect? Like, the idea I hate, I despise when teams do this. The idea that what happened last year is going to happen again this year, just with the addition of other stuff, makes no sense whatsoever. It was a thought process from some Met fans from 2024 to 2025, where, okay, well, they made the NLCS a year ago, and look at all that had to go right for them to do that. Now they add Juan Soto, they should go to the World Series. You do the math. They were good enough to get to the NLCS. Now they just added one of the best players possible in the sport, and they should go to the World Series. Well, it doesn't work like that. Obviously, the Mets miss the postseason, because from year to year, you have no idea what you're going to get. So you can't just say, well, the Yankees are going to do exactly what they did a year ago and now add Garrett Cole on top of it. No, it doesn't work like that. And I'm sure the Yankees will add in season at the deadline. Brian Cashman's always aggressive, so I'm not worried about that. And I do believe that going in, they're one of the few teams that could actually compete with the Dodgers and win a World Series and be a top team in the American League. No question about it. And you know what? If I had to bet on it, even though I saw what I saw last year, I'd bet that the Yankees would be better than the Blue Jays, whether it's winning the division, getting them in the postseason. Something about Toronto's game I just don't trust is sustainable. I need to see them do it again before I just say, you know what, they're going to be better. Because the Yankees are scary with their lineup. Best lineup in baseball last year. Even better than the Dodgers. Look at the numbers. So I do believe in it to a certain extent. I just don't know why they wouldn't want to go over the top. Even something as simple as Edwin Diaz. Why in the world would the Yankees not have been in on Edwin Diaz last year? That makes no sense to me. Or Bo Bichette. Why in the world would there were reports of the Yankees inquired about it, but what, can they not afford it? Do they not want to get involved in that? Other teams are making big moves, the high AAV, whatever it may be, and the Yankees are just like, nah, we'll go with McMahon. And his being a strikeout machine. Will he improve? Probably, because you can't be any worse offensively, but is he as good as Bo Bichette? No. Jazz Chisholm, same thing. Okay, puts up gaudy numbers, too many empty at-bats. Like, the Yankees are just content with doubling down on guys and running it back again. Now, two more things as it pertains to the Yankees. One, I remember having this conversation with A-Rod. I don't know if it was when he was on with BT and I on the Fan or if it was at his holiday party, but he was talking about how he does believe while he doesn't believe in the Yankees, theory and the analytics and all those different things, he does believe in running it back with the same group for the most part, not to the T, maybe like the Yankees have done, but running it back, referencing that 09 team that ended up winning it all. Although that wasn't really running it back because they went out there that year and added a bunch of different guys. But keeping guys intact, saying, okay, well, you don't want to just break it up just to break it up. If you're in the postseason every year, sometimes it takes a break to go your way or something like that to break through. So the Yankees, don't want to take a blowtorch to the core with a 94-win team that's always in the postseason, but that's different from what I'm saying. I'm saying add on top of that. The idea is to improve, not to just stay the same. But there is, to A-Rod's point, there is something to be said about, okay, keeping it with Judge and Bellinger and Grisham and keep that group, that core intact, and Stanton, I guess, keep that group intact. And the more, more chances you have to get in the postseason, maybe one of those times you'll break through. So we'll see. The other thing, and I can't even believe that I have to discuss this, but it just shows you how stupid people are. Goldschmidt coming back. Oh, but what about Ben Rice? Ben Rice needs at bats. Why would you bring back Goldschmidt? Guys, Ben Rice is not going to lose playing time to Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt's there to be a right-handed bat, veteran presence, defensive guy. Like, it's a nice compliment to Ben Rice. The Yankees are very high on Ben Rice, as they should be. I would expect his bat to be in the lineup as much as humanly possible. Maybe not every single day. His bat will be in the lineup. And I would think against lefties as well. Maybe not all the time, maybe not to start. We'll see how that works out. He's not taking it bats away from Ben Rice. He's not going to stunt the development of Ben Rice. Good God. Uh, Come on, guys. Like, pay attention here. People freak out about the stupidest crap. Oh, MJ Melendez for the Mets. Oh, it's a good deal. It's a two-way deal. Who cares? It's a minor league deal. Guy probably won't even be on the roster when push comes to shove at the end of the year. If the Mets do make the postseason, he won't be there. Like, relax. These moves that fans get worked up about, these insignificant moves. Paul Goldschmidt is basically insignificant. He's going to be a part-time player at best with the Yankees. Usually they'll have him in there against a lefty, mash a lefty. I mean, I don't know if Rice is going to DH, where they'd figure out Rice in there. I'd like to see Rice get some lefty on lefty at bats so he's prepared. I don't think that that's going to be the case, so they're going to take Rice and just put him on the bench every single time a lefty's in there or always pinch hit for him against the lefty. The sport is matchup based now. You know that. That's part of the game. But Paul Goldschmidt being back is not going to impact Ben Rice and his development at first base. I told you, Aaron Boone said to me, he believes Ben Rice is going to have a higher OPS than Pete Alonso. That just shows you how much they believe in Ben Rice. And after watching him outside of the postseason, after watching him last year, hard to argue against that. Rice looked like a beast.